Imagine discovering a message buried beneath the deserts of Iraq. A message older than the pyramids, older than almost every written story humanity has ever known. Now imagine that this message claims something impossible, that humanity was never created naturally, but engineered by beings from another world. For thousands of years, they were worshipped as gods. Today, millions believe they were ancient aliens. Every civilization hides a secret. Every legend carries a forgotten truth, and every mystery challenges everything we think we know. Welcome to Rahasya Matrix, where history meets the unknown, science confronts mythology, and every question leads deeper into the mystery. Tonight, we uncover one of the most controversial stories ever written: the Anunnaki, gods or ancient aliens. Before we begin, one important note. This documentary explores ancient myths, historical records, and modern interpretations. Many of the claims discussed are controversial and are not accepted by mainstream archaeology or science. Our purpose is not to prove these theories, but to examine the evidence, the myths, and the mystery behind them. Our journey begins in the year 1849. In the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia, located in modern-day Iraq, British archaeologist Austen Henry Layard made a discovery that would change the study of ancient history forever. Hidden beneath layers of sand were thousands of clay tablets. At first glance, they looked ordinary, but carved into their surfaces was an unfamiliar script made of tiny wedge-shaped symbols. This writing system would later become known as cuneiform, the oldest known writing system ever discovered. As scholars slowly translated these tablets over the following decades, an entire forgotten civilization emerged from history: the Sumerians. More than 5,500 years ago, while much of the world was still developing, the Sumerians had already built massive cities, established governments, created laws, developed mathematics, tracked the movement of planets, and invented writing itself. Their achievements were so extraordinary that historians still consider them one of the foundations of human civilization. But among records of kings, temples, trade, and daily life, one mysterious name appeared again and again: the Anunnaki. Who were they? According to Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki were powerful divine beings connected to the heavens. They were associated with creation, kingship, justice, wisdom, and the forces of nature. To the Sumerians, these were gods. But thousands of years later, some researchers and conspiracy theorists would offer a far more astonishing interpretation. What if these gods were never gods at all? What if they were visitors from another world? That single question would eventually become one of the most famous theories in the history of ancient mysteries. But to understand why people believe this, we first need to understand the civilization that wrote their story.
The arrival of the Anunnaki and the planet Nibiru. As scholars translated more Sumerian tablets, an extraordinary story began to emerge. According to Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki were not ordinary beings. They were powerful deities who ruled the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. The highest among them was Anu, the god of the sky. Below him were Enlil, associated with storms and kingship, and Enki, the god of wisdom, water, and creation. To the ancient Sumerians, these were divine figures who shaped the order of the world. But thousands of years later, an extraordinary, different interpretation would capture the imagination of millions. What if these gods were never supernatural? What if they were visitors from another planet? This idea became famous in 1976 when author Zecharia Sitchin published The 12th Planet. After studying translated Sumerian texts, Sitchin proposed the controversial theory. He argued that the Anunnaki were actually an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. According to his interpretation, they came from a distant world called Nibiru. Sitchin described Nibiru as a massive planet traveling on a highly unusual orbit, returning near our solar system roughly every 3,600 years. He believed that during one of these passages, the Anunnaki arrived on Earth. According to this theory, their homeworld was facing a serious crisis. Its atmosphere was deteriorating. Resources were becoming scarce. To restore their planet, they needed one precious element: gold. Supporters of the ancient aliens theory claim that microscopic gold particles could have been used in advanced technology or atmospheric engineering, giving the Anunnaki a reason to search beyond their own world. And Earth was rich in gold. If this theory were true, our planet would not have been their home. It would have been their mining colony. The story claims that nearly 445,000 years ago, these mysterious visitors landed in ancient Mesopotamia. At that time, Earth looked very different. Vast forests stretched across the landscape. Gigantic Ice Age animals still roamed the land. Early human ancestors were struggling to survive. According to the theory, the Anunnaki established one of their first settlements in a place later remembered as Eridu, one of the oldest known cities in Sumerian history. Some believers even suggest that later traditions about the Garden of Eden may have been inspired by memories of this sacred place. But it is important to understand something. There is no archaeological evidence showing that Eridu was built by extraterrestrials. Mainstream historians identify Eridu as an ancient Sumerian city created by humans, while the connection to alien visitors comes from later speculative interpretations, not from accepted historical research. And that raises an even bigger question. If the Anunnaki truly came to Earth for gold, who actually did the work? According to one of the most controversial parts of the story, the answer was not the Anunnaki themselves. It was someone else. And that decision, supporters claim, would eventually lead to the creation of humanity itself.
The creation of humanity and the gold mining theory. If the ancient aliens theory is to be believed, the Anunnaki never intended to become miners. According to Zacharias Sitchin's interpretation of Mesopotamian mythology, they assigned the difficult work to another group of divine beings known as the Igigi. In ancient Mesopotamian texts, the Igigi are described as a class of gods who served the higher deities. Supporters of the ancient aliens theory interpret them as a workforce sent to carry out the exhausting labor of extracting Earth's gold. For years, the work continued. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, the miners dug for the precious metal their rulers desperately needed. But eventually, the workers reached their limit. Some ancient myths describe a rebellion in which the lower gods refused to continue their labor. Whether the story represents a symbolic myth or an actual historical event remains unknown. But according to Sitchin's interpretation, the Anunnaki faced a serious problem. Without workers, their mission on Earth would fail. They needed a new labor force, one that was intelligent enough to understand instructions, yet obedient enough not to challenge its creators. This is where the theory takes its most controversial turn. Supporters claim the Anunnaki searched Earth for a primitive human ancestor. Some point to Homo erectus, an early human species that lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. According to the ancient aliens narrative, the Anunnaki combined their own genetic material with that of these early humans through advanced genetic engineering. The goal was simple: to create a being capable of working the mines. The first attempts, the theory claims, were unsuccessful. Some stories speak of strange hybrid beings that could not survive. Others connect these failed creations to later legends of giants or supernatural beings. However, these connections are speculative and are not supported by mainstream archaeology or genetics. Finally, according to the theory, one experiment succeeded. A new species was born, Homo sapiens. Some versions of the story even named the first successful human as Adamu, a name that many believe resembles the biblical figure of Adam. Supporters argue that this similarity cannot be a coincidence. Mainstream historians, however, explain that similar creation stories appeared across many ancient cultures and do not prove a shared historical event. According to the ancient aliens theory, humans were taught language, agriculture, construction, and organized labor. Over time, they became increasingly capable, but as their numbers grew, the relationship between creators and creation began to change. Some interpretations claim that humans eventually gained more freedom than originally intended. Others connect this moment to later traditions about the expulsion from the Garden of Eden. Again, these ideas come from modern interpretations, not from accepted historical evidence. Modern genetics paints a very different picture. DNA research shows that Homo sapiens evolved gradually through natural evolutionary processes, with no scientific evidence of extraterrestrial genetic engineering. Yet one mystery still remains. If the Anunnaki never created humanity, why do so many ancient civilizations preserve stories of powerful beings descending from the heavens to teach knowledge, law, and civilization? Is it merely mythology, or could these stories be distant echoes of something humanity has forgotten? The answer becomes even more mysterious when we examine what happened next. A catastrophe so enormous that it appears in the legends of cultures across the world. The story of the Great Flood.
The discovery and the forgotten civilization. Ancient aliens versus science, plus the final mystery. According to the ancient aliens theory, the Anunnaki's mission on Earth was nearing its end. But before they could leave, a disaster unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed was about to change the world forever. Ancient Mesopotamian texts speak of a great flood, a catastrophe so devastating that entire cities were destroyed and civilizations were nearly wiped out. Stories of a massive flood are not unique to Sumer. Similar accounts appear in the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Hebrew Bible, and many other ancient traditions across the world. Some researchers believe these stories may have been inspired by real flooding events in ancient Mesopotamia. Others see them as symbolic myths passed down through generations. Supporters of the ancient aliens theory offer another explanation. They claim that as Nibiru approached the inner solar system once again, its immense gravitational influence triggered catastrophic changes on Earth. Melting ice sheets, rising sea levels, and floods that reshaped entire civilizations. However, there is no scientific evidence that a planet called Nibiru exists or that such an event ever occurred. Astronomers have found no observations supporting the existence of the planet described in these theories. According to the legend, after the catastrophe, the Anunnaki abandoned Earth and returned to their home world. But before leaving, they shared knowledge that would guide humanity for generations. They taught mathematics, writing, agriculture, architecture, astronomy, and systems of law and government. Supporters of the theory point to massive ziggurats, ancient temples, and other monumental structures as reminders of their presence. Mainstream archaeology, however, attributes these achievements to the remarkable ingenuity of the Sumerian people themselves. The debate became even more intense after the publication of the 12th planet. Millions were fascinated. Television shows, documentaries, and online discussions transformed the Anunnaki into one of the most famous ancient mystery theories in the world. Yet experts in Sumerian language strongly disagree with Zecharia Sitchin's conclusions. Many linguists argue that his translations do not match the accepted meanings of the original cuneiform texts. Likewise, modern genetics has found no evidence that human DNA was engineered by extraterrestrial beings. Today, the scientific consensus remains clear. The Anunnaki were gods from Sumerian mythology, not confirmed extraterrestrials. Or perhaps, the truth still lies buried beneath the sands of ancient Mesopotamia, waiting to be discovered. Until undeniable evidence is found, the Anunnaki will remain exactly what they have always been, one of the greatest mysteries in human history. If you enjoyed exploring this mystery with us, leave a like and tell us in the comments. Do you believe the Anunnaki were simply mythological gods or visitors from another world? Subscribe to Rahasya Matrix, where every mystery begins with evidence, every legend hides a question, and every answer leads to an even bigger mystery. Until next time, keep questioning the impossible.